my audience. We are bombarded with many different forms of social media claiming to make us more connected. However, the more you use Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Snapchat, and on, the more disconnected you actually are. Mental health issues are a growing problem in the U.S., and some think that social media is partially to blame. According to the study by Science Daily in 2014, Dr. Primach and his colleagues sampled 1,787 U.S. adults ages 19 through 32. They used questionnaires to determine the link between social media and depression. Participants who reported the most frequently checking social media throughout the week had 2.7 times the likelihood of depression. Addiction to social media can cause depression, anxiety, risky behavior, cyberbullying, cyberstalking, isolation, and even death. Statistics show that the more and more people are joining social networking. According to a Pew Research Center, 65% of adults use social networking sites, and 90% of Americans ages 18 to 29 and 35% of adults age 65 and older are connected. A surprising fact, 56% of Americans in the lowest income brackets were wirelessly connected. Social media has become more of a necessity than a luxury in most households. We have all been there, looking at the profile of our 500 plus friends on Facebook and comparing our lives against theirs. With so many to stack our lives against, we are bound to be several with bigger houses, nicer cars, better jobs. This not only leads to jealousy, but also depression. Your trip to Disneyland will never compare to someone's trip to Greece. Anxiety also comes into play when comparing our lives to that of our followers. We get anxious about how others see us, often feel inferior and inadequate. And the biggest problem has nothing based on what you have accomplished or achieved. It's based on what others have accomplished. There's no way to compete, especially if you're pooling successes from hundreds of sources. Anxiety and depression can lead to risky behavior. Some users are so addicted to social media that they physically cannot go without it for any length of time. This addiction can lead to dangerous situations such as checking your media while driving or taking selfies in dangerous or even deadly situations. Another threat to everyone is cyberbullying. CNN Health Research states that 23% of teens have reported having been a target of cyberbullying, and 15% say they have cyberbullied someone else. Cyberbullying comes in many forms. The most obvious is harassment. The internet provides a cover of anonymity, and people say and do things on the internet that they would not think about doing in person. It isn't just name calling. It can be uploading and editing photos or videos and spreading rumors. Another form of cyberbullying can be in the form of catfishing. Catfishing is when a user makes a fake profile to entice another user into a conversation. There are several reasons somebody might do this. It could be to find or talk to a love interest. It could also be to build a relationship where intimate secrets are told and then can be revealed at a later date. Someone can also use it to destroy a relationship or a reputation. This happened to Manti Te'o and Mary Brown, to name a couple. Social media is very addictive. Anyone who is lonely can become susceptible to addiction. Humans are social animals, so they want to make relationships with others. Social media can lead to compulsive behavior. It's that compulsive behavior that can wreak havoc on person-to-person relationships. No one wants to date a person that checks their phone every 2 minutes, and either do employers do not want to employ these people either. Children want their parents' attention, not just pictures taken so that they can be posted. The availability of social media can make it hard to escape. The problem is most people who have an addiction to social media don't even realize it. It may seem strange to say, but taking selfies is one of the most dangerous parts of social media. But unfortunately it is. CBS reported that in 2015, more people died taking selfies than in shark attacks. Those deaths occurred when participants either fell, crashed, or even shot themselves while posing. Selfie deaths have also occurred when in overall dangerous situations, such as the running of the bulls or in South Dakota, the annual buffalo roundup. Some people are so obsessed with taking selfies that they miss out on actual life. It's hard to enjoy a concert and get the full experience if you're watching it backwards through the screen in your phone. Most important tip is to be aware of your surroundings. Everyone has a conscious decision on how they use social media. There are a few things that you can do to make that decision a good one. One way is to prevent some of the negative aspects of social media is cut down on your usage. The first step with addiction is that you have to see there is a problem and initiate change. You can also start by choosing one format. If Twitter is your favorite source, then suspend your other accounts. Put realistic time limits on usage. If you're used to checking every 10 minutes, increase to 30 minutes. Remember, with any addiction, it will take time. Second, choose your friends wisely. Do you have friends that you don't know? Do you have friends that you've never met or talked to? Reducing your friends to actual friends will instantly give you a more realistic life expectation. Change the mindset that having 400 plus internet friends makes you popular. It is the ones that meet you for coffee that actually count. Last thing seems like a no-brainer. Don't engage in cyberbullying. If someone sends you a menacing message, don't respond. Delete and move on. Arguments in cyberland are rarely won and only cause stress. Bullies are easily tired when no one argues back. On the other hand, if you're the instigator, then change your behavior. Remember what we all learned in kindergarten. Treat others how you'd like to be treated. It seems like these may seem like easy solutions, but there is a lot of willpower involved. Avoiding social media can be very difficult, especially in situations where you use it daily. If you remember, in the long run, social networking is very important. If you remember, in the long run, social networking is very unimportant, and it may help with your motivation. Aside from news parts of the sites, a majority of the posts are extremely insignificant and unimportant to our world. The kind of information that Becky just got a new car interior is completely useless in the long run. It is also hard not to fall into the mean girl mentality where you want to join a group and maybe bad-mouthing another. Keep in mind that what goes around comes around, and revert to treat others how you would like to be treated. In conclusion, social media is not all bad. It can help you grow a business, connect with long-distance friends, and provide support groups. What should be taken away from this is the consciousness of how it is used, and if it's more harmful than good. Protect yourself from depression, anxiety, catfishing, and cyberbullying, to name a few. As Oscar Wilde once said, everything in moderation, including moderation.